Just one moment, recording will start so that it will benefit others, those who are unable to join. One moment. Okay. Okay, so one more time, for the benefit of other people, those who have just joined, I have divided this presentation into 4 chapters where I have tried my best to highlight the specific information that has changed in the new book. To give the relief to the people, those who will appear soon in the exam. See, the book was not updated for a while, maybe it's like around 2 years. Okay. However, we have questions that we have recently received from different sources, and I have been sharing this in daily quizzes, and the people, those who are using the mocks that are currently available on my website. So questions were already there, such as wildlife. You can see, I'm sure you have seen questions on 5th directives, maybe a couple of questions on 6th directive, questions on cybercrime and online gambling, and virtual currencies or cryptocurrencies. On these topics, we have already seen questions, and I'm sure a couple of you, those who were part of this Telegram group or who were using the mock databases or mock questions, they have seen these questions in past. Here now, as I said, the book itself is kind of updated very late. Means, like, I'm sure you remember that previous version of the book has up to 4th EU directive. 5th, 6th was not there. So okay, so they have added 5th and 6th, and now there's a 7th also, kind of 7th directive also they have also added within this version. Let us go through this one by one, and we'll address your questions at the end. You guys can hear me clearly, and the screen is visible?
Yeah, both are fine.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so first section, what they have made some slight changes is the respondent correspondent section, correspondent banking. Let's see what they have changed there. Okay, in this section, what they have done, they have added more clarity to the definition. Okay, that what is it correspondent banking? Previously, there was kind of a definition where they used the word provision of using this and that, but now they have clearly mentioned this definition for better understanding. So here again, it's not a major change for me, but again, for the benefit of others, I have mentioned that there is a clarity in the definition. Plus, then they have mentioned that why correspondent banking is vulnerable. They have listed down the criteria, that some kind of a red flags also there. Like here, I'm sure you can see on the slides, and if you guys want, then at the end, before everyone leaves, I can share the soft copy of this presentation, those who are available. Okay. So here, like they have mentioned that they do not know the customers of the respondent directly. So if we are creating a correspondent relationship, we are, of course, we do not have a presence in another country. That's why we create these relationships, but we do not know the customers of this respondent. Okay, that's one risk. We do not have the transactional data of their customers. We do not know what degree this supervisor has control on these financial institutions. Lack of financial crime controls. I mean, like, we have a questionnaire which Wolfsburg provide, and we provide it to the respondents. But apart from this, we don't have much clarity. If respondent banking is doing any kind of a nesting, we don't have much information also on that. Identification of respondent banks, like who are their owners, their regulatory sites, all these kind of issues are there. So here, in the previous version, we do not have this kind of information within the book, but here they have added again within this section. So that's what I found are the key changes. Okay, so conceptually, again, they did not change any kind of a concept here. However, they have revised it for better clarity. Okay. Okay. Second is PEP. Okay, we all know that Let me just mute. We all know that in the previous book we have this foreign PEPs and domestic PEPs. Okay, now they have added one more thing: international organizations PEP. Okay, what exactly this means? That organizations like World Bank, IMF, and these kind of an organization, if anyone is working with such organization, they call it international organization PEP. Okay, that's one thing that they have added. Okay, PEP status also, there's something that they have added, and they said that PEP actually are not the people those who are working in either government organization, then they are on the lower scale, but here their intention is to, for the people those who are higher ranking and they are involved in decision making, or if they are making such decision, their impacts are higher. So okay, so they're keen towards the senior kind of people, not middle management. Okay. Third is credit unions. Here again, credit union, they have also similar to the bank. See, credit unions, we all know that credit unions are smaller kind of within the community. These are kind of offices or unions that they develop to support the people those who are within that society. Okay, so it depends, like some credit unions may be smaller, some are bigger, and their complexity goes if they are becoming bigger and offer more products and services. So here they have mentioned first time even that for credit unions, even they need to apply a risk-based approach to identify their members. We don't say customers, because within credit unions we have members of these unions. Okay, then they have mentioned some risks for these societies. Also, then they have mentioned ongoing monitoring of these transactions. Means like not only like for the banks, now they are telling that even these unions, they should make sure to have some sort of monitoring on the transactions of their members. Okay, risks, you can again read it. I'm just giving you these high level quick changes, so to save time. Plus as I said, like I will share this presentation again with you if you guys want. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, convertible currencies. Here, within the section of money service businesses, see, we all know that money services businesses, they primarily actually convert one currency to another currency, or if we wanted to send it from one country to another country, they actually transfer these funds and through their own like kind of a correspondent relationships. Now they have added one more section that there are exchange houses that convert these virtual currencies to even sometimes fiat currencies, and they have mentioned a FinCEN guidance that covers these kind of information in detail, and I have provided a link also on this guidance document for FinCEN. It's a detailed document. If you guys wanted, you can then read it later on. Okay. High risk insurance products. Okay, now here they have used two new terms that maybe some of you are already aware. I was not aware, so I even tried to understand this. So they mentioned unit linked policies and insurance wrappers. So what is it? That sometimes we have directly insurance policies like life insurance and all, but these type of products are actually kind of investment plus insurance products. So it's like long-term policies where people will, like the same concept again here, that that you fund these policies through your cash, or of course most of the time cash, or maybe funding it throughout foreign or countries, or you can say offshore havens, and fund these policies. Sometimes you change these beneficiaries to third parties. So these type of also new products, as in like high risk, they have mentioned. Okay, some of these features of these high risk products they have also mentioned, like offer the availability to fold funds, means like to increase the because if it's an investment, it brings back also the profits, plus at the end, god forbid something happened with that beneficiary, they also cover sometimes life insurance. Okay, Okay, so they of course there are some kind of a ceilings, but these products are very risky in terms of, because it's an investment plus insurance. So the investment amounts are very high in such products. It's like, see, insurance policy, you pay a premium of certain amount and every month, but with these, because these are insurance plus investment products, that becomes a kind of a combination, and you can put so much money into it, that's become more risky. Okay. Online casinos. Okay. Two additional clauses I have noticed. Okay. One was that money launderer logs onto the gambling account from multiple countries. There were questions even I have seen. Someone is saying that my voice is low. Is it the case with everyone? Can you guys hear me well?
I can hear you clearly.
I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
I can also hear.
Yeah, I think
Yes, it's
maybe.
clear.
All right. Okay. Okay.
If
Yeah,
someone
Maybe
is
one of the
facing
use.
issue, maybe they can drop and then rejoin. Maybe that
Yeah,
can help.
could be. Could be.
And don't worry, the presentation will be provided through the YouTube presentation. Don't worry, the link will be provided.
Yeah, so both things, soft copy we will give it to you, and Faisal, who is helping me out, he will then upload the same entire video on YouTube, and then I'll share this link with on the LinkedIn itself. Okay. So can you guys also see the slides moving? Because someone is saying, are you changing slides?
I think you are on the second slide, and you are on the discussing the online gambling right now.
Yes, that's correct. I think someone's connection is slow. Okay. All right. So they have mentioned this in the questions even. There was a question on this online gambling. So these 2 points were always a dispute kind of a thing, but now they have added these 2 points clearly, as in like red flags for online banking. One is that they log in from multiple countries. And second is that a player is identified as a PEP. So these 2 red flags have been added in this online gambling. Someone is saying that slides not changing. Okay. One moment. Can you guys see it's working fine with everyone? I'm not sure. Now
Can you move to slide number 3, please?
I am now on chapter 1, risk and methods of money laundering and terrorism financing.
Agree. Can you move to the slide number 3 so that we can
I
see
will
the
now move to Fatif extract has been added to TCSPs.
You move to slide number 3.
No, it's not slide number 3. Can you see what do you see now?
Right now, I can witness key changes in chapter 1, risk and methods of ML and TF.
I have moved now to TCSPs.
Sorry?
I'm now on this. One moment.
Actually, you are on slide number 2, but we cannot. We can hear you properly, but we cannot see the slides.
Okay, let me just one more time. I will share this again. One moment. Let me know. Can you see now?
TCSPs now we can see.
You know, this slideshow, maybe this is the reason. Or if you, okay, let's see if this still we face. Okay. All right, so in this section, they have also now asked for these trust and company service provider to obtain the detailed information that who are creating these trusts, because we all know that trusts previously have been created to conceal the owners, because like you see, someone is creating a company on BVI Islands and they are creating these company for the sake of hiding the ownership, and through these companies they used to buy some properties and all, and no one knows that who owns the property, and due to the secrecy laws they do not know even who are the owner of these companies. So they are still now enforcing that you need to have detailed information, and also on the beneficial owners and who controls these companies. These are 2 additional kind of clauses that they have requested in this. Okay, I'm shifting on the slide now. I hope you guys can see. I'm now moving to this wildlife crime. Can you see that?
No, no, we
No,
cannot see.
Right.
no.
Actually, this one moment. On my another screen, I can see. Let me change this to. Can you see it now? I will.
Yes, yes.
Yes, now we can
I,
see.
what I'll do, I will not go to the slideshow. It will just take a few seconds for me to shift between the slides, but at least you guys can see it, right? Okay.
Yeah,
See,
sure.
we all know that wildlife crime. There was even Fatif. They have also issued a paper on this. Okay. Now they have also added this wildlife crime within the. Let me just mute one of the participant. Okay. So they have added this new section that explains like the stages of this wildlife trafficking, and they have also mentioned that organization they have to kind of there's a task force, they call it United for Wildlife Financial Task Force, and there's an agreement that they do it with this authority, and there is a proper STR that they wanted to raise in case if they identify any wildlife crime. Okay. So, and this is also, as I said, Fatif also as in like in the past, maybe a couple of months back, they have also issued this detailed paper on that, and in the book they have added now this section. Okay. Let me see after wildlife crime. Okay, we have on e-money. I will switch to e-money, then tell me if you guys have any issue. Can you see it well?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay. See, we all know that these prepaid cards, and now they are talking about electronic funds transfers and e-money, all electronic funds. Okay, they are like wallets and their limits. You see, maybe some of the countries they have kind of arrangement with their telecoms. Like here in Qatar, we have a telecom, and within this telecom, they have a solution that you transfer funds through them, and we have a kind of a wallet there, but this wallet also has certain limits based on the regulatory instructions. Okay, let me be on the presentation mode, but okay, let me try to increase. If the is the screen now bigger now? Can you see it well? Okay, hopefully it should be okay now. Okay, so they are saying that in case of wallets, there are limits that there are high limits, or we can say purse limits. Okay, they hold one person is holding more than one wallets. Funding is through many sources and through cash and through non face-to-face relationships. So these are the kind of risks they have highlighted for these e-money. And controls also, they have mentioned that you put the limits on that storage value, transaction limit. You should perform transaction monitoring on these wallets, and systems to check purse or accounts of the cardholders, that it shouldn't be one person holding multiple things and doing some kind of an structuring. Okay, so this is kind of a quick overview on this also. Okay. Next is virtual currencies. This section they have revised again. It was existing even in the previous book. Okay, here they have explained it a bit more about it, that these are the currencies like in the digital world, like cryptocurrencies, the mode of these or the way these are, it's like centralized and decentralized categories. Within this, the features they have mentioned that there are currencies which are either convertible and non-convertible. Convertible like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, and non-convertible Reddit coins or Q coins. Like you see sometimes some in games, like people those who play these kind of an online games, sometimes there are kind of coins that we need to buy, let's say for $2 or something. They give us 1,000 coins, then we can play the game and all. So these kind of also non-convertible currencies also they are talking about, that people they dump funds into these also kind of currencies. There is a paper from Fatif, I have also given a link there. Okay, virtual assets red flags. Okay, if anyone wants to go into more detail, they can refer to this document. The objective here is just to give you a quick overview. I'm not going to go to the details of every single section, but just to give you an overview on what has changed in the book. Okay, there was like a question also on that, that FATF issued 2 public documents 3 times a year. Okay, but it was not in the book. Okay, and however, through the website of FATF and through general understanding, we know that these are the 2 types of documents that they issue for jurisdictions. One document is this high risk jurisdiction. Second document they issue on jurisdictions that are under increased monitoring. Okay, these are the 2 documents that they issue 3 times a year. This was not previously mentioned in the book, but now they have mentioned. Okay, they have also mentioned review process of jurisdictions. Okay, based on their vulnerabilities and their specific tasks. That was also a new section. It was not there before. De-risking, a new concept that they have mentioned. See, whenever, of course, as a business, when we do any activity, we have certain risks. We say that, okay, we can take this risk or we don't want to take this risk. Okay, de-risking here refers to that financial organization, they can terminate the relationship directly. They shouldn't be maintaining this relationship. That's what they are talking about in this de-risking. Okay, and FATF recommendations also has this concept that they can terminate a relationship, but of course it's on a case-by-case basis. And how big is the threat is. It could be that it is bringing a reputational risk to organization or any financial major risk. So this is something new concept. First time they have ever mentioned de-risking. I will see if there is any de-risking in FATF. Then again, I'll share it on the Telegram. Okay, 7th EU directive. This is also a complete new section. Like out of the new things that I found, it is this de-risking one and this major one, EU directives, and section red flags for cybercrime, and section for this trafficking. These, as I recall, that these are the key sections that have been added. Now, within these EU directives, they have mentioned that introduction of EU centralized system of bank accounts registries. That means that that now they will have a kind of a register for all the accounts that a customer is maintaining within all the banks in the EU. Okay, that is one thing. Previously, it was not the case. They were talking about that, of course, like sharing the data is a major hassle. It means like you cannot, due to the data privacy issues, you cannot share your data with all other banks. But now they're coming back to this kind of a situation that maybe, of course, certain specific information that will be shared with, as in like EU centralized system for the bank, maybe specifically, let's say with the passport number or any identification number, how many accounts someone is holding and which bank they are holding, and that's it. And then if there are any investigation, they can go further deep down and identify or discuss the case with the respective banks. Okay, introduction of EU central AML law. Like they are trying to have a kind of a new EU authority that will transform this supervision in EU. Okay, through their central authorities or central banks. Okay. Unification of AML rules in member states. They are trying to have a unified kind of AML requirements within the countries that are under the umbrella of EU. Okay, extending the scope of crypto business models. Okay, here again, as we all know that this digital currencies are getting so much. So they are talking about virtual assets transfers are subject to similar AML CFT requirements as wire transfers. Means like if you are doing any transfers, it is the same thing as in like wire transfer. So whatever in the wire transfer, the same rules apply on the crypto transfers. Next is this implementation of crypto travel rule. Okay, so FATF have also recommendation number 16. Okay, also called travel rule guideline. It's a guard against money laundering, and they are saying that this is a new crypto travel rule, guidance, recommendation that virtual asset service providers, including exchange, banks, and over-the-counter desk. So whenever you are doing a transactions higher than 1,000 euro globally, they will have more monitoring on that. Okay. Prohibition of anonymous crypto wallets. They are saying that anonymous crypto wallets are no longer allowed. It should be owned by someone at the end. Prohibition of cash purchases over 10,000. The new regulation will contain directly applicable rules, including in the area of CDD and beneficial owners. It includes establishment of a EU-wide limit of 10,000 for cash payments. Like anything above 10,000 purchase, it is kind of a prohibited. Okay, so these are the sections that are announced in this 7th EU directive. I'm sure some of you know that I have a paper that is a consolidated EU directive in the column format for all 6. Can someone please share the latest ACAMS study guide? Okay, I will share. I'll see if on this attachment can be sent. Let me see in the chat. Faisal, do you know?
They can do it personally. They can send you an email, a WhatsApp number you
And
have.
Okay,
Yeah,
I will type
it's
my
better to-
WhatsApp number, but I thought that it would be easier because, like, rather than sending one-on-one message, it would be easier for me to share it in one go. In the chat option, I cannot see if there is an attachment kind of now.
There is no possibility for this thing. I think it's better to do on the Telegram group you have.
Okay, let me just make sure. Yeah, there's no option. So I'll drop my number on chat. So whosoever wants this book, okay, you guys can send me a message. I will drop you this. Okay. Okay, next in the patriotic section of section 314B, they have added 2 things here. In the participating agents previously, as I remember, it was banks only, but now they have added that entities are like credit unions and other depository institution and government sponsored enterprises also. And then second thing that they have added is the sharing of information with one another regarding individuals, entities, and organizations and countries for the purpose of identifying of possible money laundering and terrorist financing. These are the 2 new things that they have added in section 314B. One thing now they have also they have added is the AML law that is issued by National Defense Authorization Act. Like it's different than the Patriotic Act. Patriotic Act was a result of 2001, this incident of US. Okay, and I got it. Okay, all right. Okay, so here they are talking about some other key points that risk-based program for FIs, reporting databases for the beneficial UBOs or ultimate beneficial owners is also getting a hot topic nowadays. I'm sure like recently you have seen so many, there was a child and he was the owner of multiple 100 companies and that was in the news. So here there is lots of concentration or focus on the UBOs, that who are the peoples behind these companies. So they are trying to have a centralized database for all the UBOs. Okay. And increased FinCEN's investigation powers. They are trying to give more powers to FinCEN to extract this information. Okay, and then they have added here asset recovery also, which was not before in ACAMS. It was part of financial crime other certification, but now they have also mentioned that how do you recover these kind of funds and how do you seize that. Okay, there are some principles or on strategic priorities that they have mentioned that that how you should do this on a country basis, corruptions and all these 8 categories are also mentioned here. Details are part of the book itself, so you guys can go through that. OFAC license for the transaction is also a key thing that they have mentioned, that there are 2 different type of licenses. Okay, one is a general license, one is a specific license. So when sometimes a transaction is a kind of need authorization. So journal is one. It's like a particular type of a transaction for a class of persons without the need to apply a license. Means like it's a standard transaction. There's no need for the license. A specific one is a written document issued by OFAC to a particular person or entity authorizing a personal transaction, particular transaction in response to a written license. It's like there are some transactions which are stuck in the OFAC. However, it requires certain way to release that. So some organization now they need a license to release these kind of an details. So this is one of the additional kind of a change in the OFAC section. I will soon be working on highlighting these parts within the book also. Maybe it will take 2 weeks time. Then I will later on share it with everyone on the Google Drive. Maybe some of you know that there's a Google Drive, and you have access to this. Then there are a couple of documents that are purely for the exam perspective. Not all the documents, sometimes in the appendix we have in the book, not all the documents are necessary, but there are very specific documents which I have shared on that Google Drive. Periodic review of KYC, maybe some of you have seen or heard in within your organization that we have to review our customers on a periodic basis to ensure that their information is up to date with us. And here now they have reiterated within the book, and each country has its own laws that when these when the customer should be reviewed, means like such as some regulators, they say that high risk customers should be reviewed annually, medium risk should be reviewed every 3 years, low risk customers should be reviewed every 5 years, but depends on countries' regulations. Some may say 1 is for high, 2 is for medium, 3 is for low. Depends like whatever is the regulation. KYE, which is know your employee, they have mentioned here again that treat your employees also same as customers. Yeah. Okay. So they are saying to treat your own employees as in like a normal customer. So you perform your like at the time of onboarding, you have to apply background checkings and all. And similarly here also they are telling you to monitor their transactions and as in like a normal way, the way you are doing these monitoring for your customers. Okay, red flags, they have added some new 1 or 2 bullet points in the commercial accounts. Okay, employee activities, they have also added to these, as you can see on these screens, 2 new red flags. For insurance, they have added 3 new red flags. So these are the changes in the red flags area, which is chapter 3rd end. Okay, then a new section, as we speak earlier, that we cyber crime. Okay, ideally the cyber crime was part of EU Directive 6, and as a detailed elaboration, they have added certain red flags for this cyber crime. Okay, like they have described phishing, spear phishing, ransomware, business email compromise. Okay, so these are some of the, and the details for each definition is also available within the book. Okay. Okay, retention periods for subpoena and STR, they are saying that when there's a requirement, when any agency, they ask you for any information for the documents, so such request, you have to keep it for 5 years. And when you are also raising an STR, after that raising the STR, you have to have this documents retained for a certain period. Okay, and this information should also be maintained for 5 years, but again, it may differ from country to country, and their regulators may say even to retain it for 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, or depends. Okay, there's this.
I have a question, excuse me.
Can I take the questions at the end directly, one by one?
No issue.
Yeah?
No issue.
Sure, thank you. Okay. Okay, there's another section they have added, national security letters. Okay, it is a way to gather information for their STRs and all. Okay, and these can be issued by FBI, including the directors, assistant directors. It's a written investigative demand requiring a third-party business to provide a data or information for the targets or for the persons that who is subject to investigations. Okay, and this data can be provided into definitely these electronical formats and all. Okay, this is also a new section. Okay, record keeping and record retention. Also, they have again stressed out that it should be kept for CDD, EDDs, STRs, internal AML controls, all policies, training records. Like you see in the training sections in chapter 4, I think chapter 4 or 3, chapter 3, that whenever we have trainings, we need to make sure to retain that how many people, those who have attended these training. This is one of the regulatory requirement, like annual refresher of AML and KYC, these trainings. So banks, they should maintain the records of these training and how many people they have attended. FIU, they have just again elaborated here but in more detail that what is their role, and it's their key objective is to share the information between different FIUs. Okay, exchange of their information, respective experience to promote development of effective FIUs. So here again, nothing major, but they have again rephrased certain sentences to explain it well. Conceptually, there is no change in that. Okay, so these were the changes from all these 4 chapters. Let me just make sure OFAC license and so on. Yeah, so these were all the changes that were introduced, and I have found out that specifically from that paper, 2 pages, but again I have compared these 2 books and try to bring out or extract certain information that can be quick overview. So now I will take your questions one by one. If you guys can just raise your hands so that I can go one by one. Yes, ACCA Sheikh, please go ahead.
Thank you for giving me a chance. Actually, my question was from this slide. Actually, retention of record. You have mentioned that the retention of STR is for the 5 years.
Yes,
My
that is
question
after.
is that yes, my question is the record retention policy for every customer is for 10 years if we close the account after. But you said whenever a regulator asks for any document with respect to STR, we have to retain this information for the next 5 years since the date of asking from the LEA or any financial intelligence unit. Am I right?
See, what they have mentioned, let me just exactly read it for you. Let me just open the page of fact. Record retention. As for STR, all supporting documentation under the BSA record retention requirement, this information should be maintained for 5 years. The date of the STR was filed. So if they have filed it 2022 January, at least 5 years it should be retained. Again, this is a base rule that they have defined. Okay. Maybe in like in Qatar, for example, they tell us like for 15 years. And it depends. Okay. Like each country will have a separate requirements on this on these record retention.
Fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? So again, this is a quick overview. Which is drafted to benefit all of us, and the reason I have organized this is to make sure that people, those who are willing to appear in the exam soon, they shouldn't get panic that now what will happen, maybe they will fail, because some people, they have kind of jobs at stake if they won't pass ACAMS.
Sahil wants to ask a question.
Yeah.
Sahil.
Yeah. Yes, Sahil.
Yeah, hi sir. Good evening. My question is to you regarding the advice cube questions. Will you make any changes on it regarding the new topics, or will it remain same?
See, for now, I haven't, through different sources, haven't received new questions on the specific sections like de-risking, like seventh EU directive. But most of it I have already covered in 950 questions. Because as I said, book was updated lately, but the questions that we have it's before, like cybercrime is already covered in the mock sets.
Yeah, I have seen it.
Yeah, so these, most of it is already covered except the new specific sections they have added on AMLA, de-risking, and also as and when, usually when I have the new questions, it is added, and it is added to all the existing members, and there is no separate charge again on that.
Okay, fine. And is there any possibility like the ACAMS will change the questions pattern from next month, or will they take at
The
least 2
questions
months?
pattern is not getting changed.
Sorry,
Okay.
the new editions, new edition questions.
I think at least what I heard that by June there may be introduction of these new questions.
Okay.
In addition to this, there's a question from Sheikh as well and other people. There are two ways to enjoy the leverage of getting the question. Is one, to be the part of the Telegraph group. The number has been given, provided by the Majid. Then second thing is that there is a simulator of 950 question bank. The link has been provided by Majid, and the best thing is you can see the testimonial of the people who recently passed, and even there is a presentation before that as well. When I'm going to upload this presentation in the YouTube channel, there is another presentation which was a guy who actually passed the exam. Most of the people are stating that almost more than 30-40% is the questions are coming from that simulator as well. So, and you know that even you studied hard, those mock questions are very important to be benefited or get the best out of it. So I strongly recommend that to be part of the group as well, because every day the group member, the group admins, they send these 10 questions, and second day they give the answers of those, and sometimes the new questions are in that question bank as well. Number two is highly recommended for you. There will be a discount. You can directly contact Mr. Majid for the this advice cube, this mock simulator 950. You will I will tell you the quality of these questions. It was amazing. It was really amazing. And if you want to join the group, there is basically a test. There is a WhatsApp group number provided by Majid. Majid, can you send? You can actually today on the LinkedIn profile, advice cube, this advice cube consulting LinkedIn profile. The link will be provided again for the Telegram, and you can directly join from there as well.
Okay.
And please be active on the LinkedIn profile, because most of the things will be coming directly on the LinkedIn profile for all the aspirants.
Okay, there's a guy who was asking question on the how long does it take to prepare for the exam? See, it depends on someone's availability. I would say 3 to 4 months is a good time. It's like 4 days a week if somebody is preparing, and 2 hours at least a day. Okay, so 3-4 months is sufficient. Please note that reading a book even 4 times will not help someone to pass. Practicing the questions is also 50%, which actually helps you, because reading alone will never ever help anyone. It's a combination that there are practice questions that helps you to understand your concepts are really correct or no. Okay.
Hi, sir. Sahil
yes,
again.
Sahil. Yes, please.
My question is again to you. New additions has been done this ACAMS topic. So can we say that is it 10 to 20%, or is it more than 20%?
I would say even yes, 10 to 20%, not much.
It's not more than this.
Yeah, because as I said, like 3, 4, maximum 5 topics which are purely new. Rest is all kind of a rephrasing and elaborations mainly, and some add-ons within that. But I don't see really a kind of a significant change.
Okay, sir. Okay. And one more question, sir. I have
regarding
I have done the booking on the ACAMS website, and the new guide is there. but there I'm not getting the option that to mark it as completed. It is still remaining incomplete for me. Anyhow, I have downloaded the new reference guide.
Yeah.
Any idea regarding this?
So you're saying that when you have downloaded the guide, for example,
Yes.
it doesn't show you the status as a complete. That's what you
Completed.
mean?
Yes, sir.
See,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. Even maybe their site has so many issues. Actually, honestly,
Okay.
in
Okay.
past, even I have faced so much issues on their site after they rebrand this and during 2021 time or
Okay.
2020 end. But don't worry, because they are not counting these credit hours or something as of now. So
But actually, sir, they have mentioned that this thing you have to complete because there is one
really, in the
red
new one.
asterisk sign. Yeah, in the new one, red asterisk sign is coming, and they have
Mhm.
mentioned this
Mhm.
has to be completed before you sit for the examination. That is compulsion.
See, though, then do this thing. Maybe technically, if you're then facing an issue, you can directly drop them an email telling
Okay,
them
sir.
that I have done this step, but however, this site is not getting refreshed.
Okay, sir. Fine, fine, fine.
Okay, I will drop a link for the Telegram. Since people are asking, I'll do it now.
Hi, Majid. Sayed this side.
Yes, Sayed. Just give
Yes,
me one
just a
second.
quick.
I will just share this Telegram link and
Sure, sure.
okay, I'll do it later. Go ahead, Sayed.
Yeah, sure. Just a quick question on the question pattern. What you said, I missed that part. You were mentioning like from June effective, the question pattern will change. Is that the point you were mentioning?
See, pattern so far is not getting changed. New questions may be introduced. Okay, pattern, because there was a kiosk even maybe a couple of months back when they have added some new questions. People were panicking and they started sending questions with 10 options and kind of a very lengthy questions, but this was not the case at all. So again, it's not the pattern that is changing. It's new questions may be introduced as, let's say, seventh new directive is added. De-risking is de-risking is kind of a new concept. So new questions may come. Maybe see maximum options that I have seen, which is again very less number of questions, is like kind of 6 options in one question. That's the max I have seen. 6, or worst case is the 7, maybe one question. Okay, so don't worry on the pattern. It's only the questions that new questions may be introduced.
So, any idea
Okay,
when they are going to introduce the new questions?
I understood from
Since
my
when?
resources, June I understood.
Oh, okay, okay, got it. And
Yeah,
the next
yeah,
question, Majid, you were mentioning about the Google Drive. So,
yeah.
how do we get the access on that?
See, you have seen my WhatsApp number. You can drop me a message there, and I'll share the Google Drive link, and then from there you can join. And please, when you're sending me a message, make sure you send me your LinkedIn profile also link so that I can connect with everyone.
Sure, sure. We'll do that.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no worries. Any other question? Okay. Okay, we'll then share the video and these changes. Okay, we'll share it via LinkedIn, and I have now shared with everyone the WhatsApp number. If you guys have any other question, please feel free to reach out. The website that I have mentioned, Advice Cube, there are questions also. You can see these questions as a sample. There are 10 questions which are there as a sample so that you know how this thing is working. Okay. Inimana Stanley, I will share the link for this Telegram on the LinkedIn, and from there you can join.
Stanley, I have shared the LinkedIn profile. There is the LinkedIn profile. I've given this in the chat. Everybody can go and connect over there. and all the material and information will be provided through the LinkedIn. And as far as the Google Drive is concerned, there is a policy for this. Actually, it's been given to the people who join for the courses and the simulator. So this is will be in the package. However, Majid will give to those people who really required. I think that they cannot provide the fees or something like this. However, we can provide in terms of just for the benefit of the society, nothing else. Rest, I again humbly request to everyone, please join the LinkedIn profile. Thank you.
Thank you, Faisal. Okay, if there is no more questions, then I would request again, if you have anything, please feel free to reach out. And thank you once again for your time. I have tried my best to summarize it in just these 30-40 minutes, but it's again just to give you a quick overview of what has changed. You can further go through the details within the book. Gulhina can, as we said, just drop a message and I will share this new study guide with you. Okay. All right, then thank you very much. Soon I will share now the quiz also on the LinkedIn. Okay, and those who are part of the LinkedIn, you will see this. There's a link for the Google Forms.
Okay. Hena, you can again request Hena, everybody who is asking this, please join this LinkedIn profile, which again I am sharing with it, so that you can be benefited. All those materials, information will be provided on daily basis or alternative whenever it is required through the link. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much, Majid and Faisal. It was really